Did you know that trillions of bacteria in your gut influence not only your digestion, but also your brain, your immune system, and even your mood? Let's dive into why the gut microbiome is the unsung hero of our overall wellness. Hi, my name is Kim. Welcome to Gut Health Made Simple. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the gut microbiome, how it works, and why it's so important for our overall health. In simplest terms, the gut microbiome is a community of trillions of bacteria, fungi, and microorganisms that live in our gut. It works like an internal ecosystem that helps us digest our food and absorb nutrients. And it also helps us to fight infection. So what we know is that the digestive tract is basically a big tube, and it winds around and goes in and out and connects to different parts. But basically, from beak to tail, it's just one long tube, right? And our gut microbiome lies in the lining of that tube, in this area here. So if you think of like the exterior of this tube, and it's mostly housed in our large intestine and some parts of our small intestine. So what does this mean for us? Number one, 70 to 80% of our immune cells live in our gut microbiome, which means that a balanced microbiome is going to keep our immune system in check. This is why people with autoimmune diseases will benefit very much from learning more about the microbiome. There's a very well-established gut-brain connection, which is one of the reasons why when we're stressed, we eat differently, and then we have like an overall feeling of unwellness. And also because 90% of our serotonin, that is the good mood hormone, is produced in our microbiome. When we are in dysbiosis, meaning where we have an imbalance in the bacteria and the fungi that lives in our gut microbiome, we see chronic inflammation. Finally, keeping our gut microbiome in balance is going to have a very positive impact on our skin, our energy, and even weight management. By balancing our microbiome, we can see improvements in things like eczema, psoriasis, and then also things like just intermittent rashes and allergies. By working through some of these strategies, you're going to find that you lose weight. So what can you do to support your gut health? Number one, I recommend that you click subscribe below so that you can find actionable tips on a weekly basis. And consider adding fiber to your diet. So things like cruciferous vegetables, berries, low sugar fruits, whole grains like quinoa and rice. Also consider adding beans to your diet. I personally really like chickpeas as a plant-based protein. Consider adding fermented foods to your diet. So things like yogurt, and I would suggest that you try the very low sugar kind. Consider adding things like sauerkraut or kimchi to your protein in one of your meals during the day. Consider getting on the sourdough train. The bread is made with already fermented starter. It's much easier for you to digest. Start to look at the types of foods that you're eating. And if you find that you're eating ultra-processed foods, those are going to be the first thing to eliminate. One way to identify ultra-processed food is thinking about the main ingredient in that food and what it was like in nature and how many processes it took to get to your plate. A lot of times we think of ultra-processed foods like things that we find at a fast food restaurant. And yes, that is true. We're going to want to avoid, but also things that we find on the shelves in the stores like our cereal, our chips, our crackers. If you're thinking about flour that's made for those particular items and how that flour has to go through several processes to get to what you find on the shelves, you can start to identify that's ultra-processed. Another thing that we really want to do in order to help to balance our gut microbiome is to find ways to manage our stress. I do have videos for stress management, and I will continue to make new fresh ones. So again, make sure that you do click subscribe so that you can get these videos as soon as they come out. Additionally, check the description below for a link to my website, grammygoinggreen.com. From there, you can grab the Microbiome 101 quick guide so that you can refer to some actionable tips as you're trying to balance your microbiome and manage your autoimmune condition. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you have a really great day.